Hey, this is John, and I'm just continuing along this theme of loving yourself today. But I want to bring in this topic of when you're involved with a narcissist in your life, whether it's a parent or partner or good friends. And we all can display narcissistic tendencies, perhaps. I'm not talking about that because that word is bandied around a lot. I'm talking about someone who has narcissistic personality disorder. And the reason why this is important is that if you have someone like that in your life or that you're heavily involved with, it makes it very hard to start peeling away the false layers or the false narratives you've been told to find your true self. And that's because the way narcissists work. And what I'd like to say is if you don't know much about narcissistic personality disorder, I've got some references for you, some really good specialists. Dr. Ramani is one I like, and Jill Wise. They just give you some really good information. If you just want to explore this topic, it's important not to just jump in and, they're a narcissist, you know what I mean? But the reason this is important is how narcissists work is there's the stuff that they do face to face, but the particularly damaging stuff that takes a long time to work through is the little erosions and the little chips that they have at your self-confidence. And so how this can manifest in your life is you can sort of always be doubting your inner wisdom. You can always be doubting yourself, never sure. If you find yourself constantly apologising, even when there's nothing to apologise about, or constantly having to explain yourself, making excuses, that's another sign that there's someone involved in your life. The biggest thing, how it affected me in my life before I started realising what was going on, is I didn't have any personal needs, so to speak. Someone says, hey, would you like Chinese or Indian tonight to eat? And I'd say, whatever you like, I like both of them. And what happens is you start to forego your personal wants. You actually start to forget who you are to please other people because you're made to feel guilty if there's something you want for yourself. And so it can manifest in many ways, but I found this idea of peeling back these false narratives very difficult. I found this idea of even today, I can sometimes, I think Khalid will say, what do you want? And I'll feel bad about actually saying, actually, this is what I would prefer to do. And so I'm shooting this just to encourage anyone who is struggling with this sort of thing. If you're an empath, if you're a people pleaser, and so that's why I encourage looking up, doing your own research on the disorder. And I just want to give you some steps as to how you can work with it, because with narcissists, you can't change them, but you can change how they affect you. And it all comes back to being that observer that I talk about a lot. And here's a strategy I want to share with you that you can start identifying, start observing. And as you're the observer, you become like a detective. And you can see, I can see how this happened in my life now. And you can start to protect yourself, protect your heart as you're doing this self-exploration. And you can start to understand that there is nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're not an unconfident person. You've just been chipped away at, and you can restore that. You can start loving that person, the true person inside, not all of the stuff that's been put on you. The first thing is to identify and observe. And it's important that you don't personalize this. Don't name the person, just name it. Just say, okay, this is the situation. This relationship is not a healthy relationship for me. So it's important not to personalize. So when you name the pattern or when you name what is happening, this gives you some power to start observing it. And what you have to do is do that emotional regulation, whatever you need to stop the triggering happening, because what you find is that person is the one who triggers you. It might be after they leave, might be during a conversation. A narcissist has the ability to be stabbing you all over, but with a smile on their face, and you think they're being polite. And there's lots of things that they do, lots of techniques. Like I said, research it. You'll start to understand if you have a person like that in your life. So once you observe it and you name it, and you start to use some skills, and this is an up and down battle, right? Don't feel like you failed if you get triggered and all of those things. That's okay. You learn, you get stronger, you build that muscle. And here's an acronym I want to share with you about being jaded, or don't jade yourself, JADE. And so what a narcissist tries to do is put you on the back foot. And so here's 4 things you can do. Don't justify, don't argue, don't defend, and don't explain. Explaining's the big one that I found. You start to try to explain that you haven't done anything wrong, and so don't justify, don't argue, don't defend, don't explain. I had a person who's very close to me, and I didn't realise this was going on. But when I started observing them, I watched them push every one of my buttons, and they knew the buttons to push. But it gave me some power. It was hard, but that JADE method really works. Dr. Ramani has a different acronym, which is really cool as well. But what this enables you to do then is you can then separate this relationship in your mind while you're exploring the inner you, while you're trying to start loving that inner you. And what you'll find come out of it is so cool, the ability for you to just express your needs and your wants in a way that doesn't harm anyone. You'll find you'll have to put some boundaries in place if you have a narcissistic person in your life. However, this is a big part of the journey if you're to find your true self and to love your true self. So I hope you enjoyed those tips. If you do have someone that you suspect is a narcissist or has the disorder in your life, please do the research. There's plenty of information online. The 2 links I've left you, those 2 people I've found particularly helpful. But this is all about empowering yourself, because you deserve to be you and you deserve to love you. And so I just want to tell you how amazing you are today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.